Double entry bookkeeping, payroll accounts for AAT Level 2, Principles of Bookkeeping Controls. Today we're going to be looking at entering a payroll transaction into our ledger accounts. The task that we have a salary of £3,000 per month, a PAYE obligation of £530, an employee national insurance contribution of £275, an employee pension contribution of £100, an employer pension contribution of £100, and an employer national insurance contribution of £350. First things first, we want to divide these figures out to know which concern the employer and which concern the employee. So our employee figures will include the £3,000 salary, the PAYE, the employee's national insurance contribution, and the employee's pension contribution. The figures we'll be using for our employer's calculations will be the £3,000 salary, the £100 pension contribution, and the employer's national insurance contribution. So let's look at the employer's cost first. The employer is paying the employee £3,000 a month. This is including the obligations of the employee, the HMRC contributions and the pension contributions. This is because it is the business's obligation to make sure that is paid. The employer's national insurance contribution will be added to that £3,000, as well as the employer's pension contribution. So the overall cost to the employer for employing that employee is £3,450 per month. Having a look at the employee's costs, the employee is paid £3,000 a month, but removed from that is the PAYE obligations, the national insurance and the pension contributions, which are the liability of the business. So taking home, the employee has £2,095. Right, just pop these figures up the top here for reference to fill in our ledger accounts. Employee take home is £2,095, employer's overall costs is £3,450, pension contribution of £200, and an HMRC liability of £1,155. In order to process this into our ledger accounts, we are going to need 4 ledgers: our wage control, our wage expense, our HMRC account, and our pension account. First things first, we're going to have a look at our wage expense. The overall expense to the company for employing this person is £3,450. So we're going to pop that into the debit side of our wage expense. We are increasing that account by £3,450. Into our wage control account, we're going to credit that figure. Now, it is our objective of this process to remove this figure. We want to bring this figure down to 0 by adding in debits to the other side. That way we know that we've allocated all of our expenses. So, first things first, to try and lower this £3,450 in our wage control. From our bank account, we have paid our employee £2,095. You could put another little ledger in here for bank if it helps sort it out in your mind, but I've just popped it in there. So straight from the business's bank account into the employee's bank account is £2,095. That's our first cost that's gone out to bring this expense down. Next, we're going to have a look at our HMRC liabilities. £530 of PAYE is going as a liability to the company into our HMRC account. The dual effect of that will be popping it into the debit side of our wage control account. National insurance contribution from the employee at £275 will then be popped into our wage account as well, wage control account as well. And the national insurance contribution of the employer of £350, a liability onto the company. And the dual effect is popping that into our debit side of our wage control. Now looking at our pensions, £100 from the employee goes as a liability into our pension account and is debited to our wage control. £100 from the employer contribution is credited to our pension account as a liability and popped into our wage control. Now that's all of our figures put into our ledger accounts. So in order to make sure that we've done everything correctly, we need to look at our wage control. All of our figures on our debit side should add up to our credit side, making that account null and void. So if we add up all of the debits onto the wage control, we come up with 3,450. So we know that we have dealt with all of our obligations of that overall expense. If we just want to double check our HMRC account, these figures here in the credit, the liabilities add up to 1,155. We've already totted that up, so we do know that that is correct. And the same with our pensions. £200 in pensions corresponds with our earlier figures here. So yeah, that is how your ledger account should look after that payroll transaction.